I love I'm so glad. All right. Well, welcome to Causal Coffee with Troy. This is going to be a show with cozy conversations and intriguing interviews with members of the community. This series may never have a set schedule because I want to be able to accommodate the time zones of guest interviews from around the world. But Causal Coffee will always be available on YouTube after the show, and we'll post the link, or the video will be posted on YouTube for you to watch anytime. And if you haven't already, please. Oh, look, it's Josh. Josh is the one who wrote the song. Yay! If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I need 100 subscribers so I can change my YouTube address to reflect the channel's name. Sometimes the show will be just cozy conversations with all of you, and sometimes there'll be intriguing interviews. And today is an interview with one of the community's favorite and most loved, Nick Sweeney. Originally from Nashville, Tennessee, and currently residing in Southern California, Nicholas Sweeney, aka Babylove and your cosmic mama bear, is a professional performing artist, evolutionary astrologer, intuitive counselor, and Reiki practitioner. He is also the creator of PathAgape and SoulTime with Babylove. Links to all of Babylove's stuff will be in the description of this video. And now, without further ado, here is Nick. Welcome.
Hey.
Hey there. Now, would you like me to refer to you as Babylove or Nick during the interview?
Why not Babylove?
Let's do it. So I wanted to ask you first your overleaves. You can share those with everybody.
Yes, I am 6th level old priest cast sage in flow and observation with spiritualist attitude, intellectual part of moving center. Let's see, Mercury, appearance, Venus, nature, solar, health, and that leaves the chief features, right? Impatience as a primary chief feature and arrogance as a secondary chief feature. I think I got them all.
Do you think any of those stand out as the easiest and the hardest to have for you?
The easiest and the hardest. I'd say the 6th level, the hardest.
Okay. Oh, looks like you left out. No, you said observation, right?
Yeah, I said observation.
Okay.
Oh, Cadra entity. Uma, thanks, Uma. Cadra 1, entity 7, sweetheart, affectionately named the sweetheart entity. I just found out Usher's in my entity. How about that?
Oh.
Usher and Julia Roberts. I like both of them.
Oh.
Where was I?
Oh, the easiest overleaf and the hardest one.
You know, actually, I think the easiest would be the sage now. It didn't used to be. But after validating it and allowing it and being it, I think the sage is actually the easiest.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Now, I want to also ask your preferred pronouns. Do you have any preferred pronouns? He, him?
I go by he, him.
Okay. In your video description for on YouTube, there's references to she. Now, is that the cosmic mama bear part of you?
That's the cosmic mama bear, yes. and I mean, I don't mind if someone refers to me as a she at all, but that's a difference than, you know, how I see myself or how I feel myself to be in this body, you know?
Yeah. Mine are he, him as well. Okay. And I think I love this whole move to recognize the variations in pronouns and how we prefer to be referenced. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping it kind of all moves towards they, like just no gendered pronouns at all. I think that would be awesome. But speaking of your names, I wanted to talk to you about Babylove. But first, I would like to show a clip from your show on YouTube.
Okay.
Oh, you know, this lifetime that we live, when we are truly living it, It unfolds, it blossoms, it twists and turns. It's unexpected, it's surprising, it takes us places we didn't expect. If we're truly living, right? And this lifetime took me to Babylove. Yeah. So this name just reminds me that we're fluid, that if we're living, we change, we unfold, we grow, we heal, we expand, we become who we are truly meant to be. And it's not about the name. It's not about being attached to the name, right? I may change my name again, okay? No, it's not about that. But it's about being right here, right now in SoulTime. And when somebody says, what's your name? Giving them a name that means something to me right now. And then when they say it back, it means something to me. When I get to tell the story, it means something to me. About this courageous journey I've taken. How far I've come to be able to be my fabulous self. Okay. I'm showing a little nipple. Mm-hmm.
I love that so much. It was so vulnerable and so profound and so I don't know. It just really touched my heart. And everybody should go follow the link in the description of the video to see the whole video. But you go into your coming out with that name to your mother, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the response to that. And that was a journey in itself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
How often or who refers to you as Babylove in your life? Like, is that still something you're building and getting people used to?
So my chosen family here in Southern California, and a few who don't live here, but we tended to spend a lot of time here in Southern California as we became friends, they all call me Babylove. So I babysit a 3-year-old, and he doesn't even know my real name. He calls me Babylove,
I love
or I shouldn't say
that.
my real name, my birth name. And but I'm also starting to, in my professional life as an actor, um, when I do my audition tapes, I say, hi, I'm Nicholas Sweeney or Babylove. So I was on one commercial set and they were actually calling me Mr. Love, and I loved it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Now, I
I'm
loved your
getting it
story.
out there.
I loved your story about how you came to the baby part of love, because to identify as love was too big. So you wanted to you wanted baby love. And I loved that story. And I don't want to tell too much because you tell it way better in your video, but I really loved that.
Thank you.
And I'm going to do my best to continue referring to you as baby love. So do you remember how we met? How we first met?
I do.
Oh,
yes.
Tell me more.
Well, it was a bathhouse. No, I'm just kidding.
Was it? We didn't know it was each other until.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I met you in your apartment in Brooklyn, I believe it was. In 2008, you had a little Michael Speaks little intimate gathering in your apartment. And that's how we first met in person. Yes. Well, maybe it was a friend's apartment, but I think it was your apartment.
Was it the big brownstone with the really fancy woodwork and stuff? Because I think that was Nick and Cypress's place.
Gosh, I can't remember now. It may have been a friend's place.
I think it was. You were with Karen? Were you with Karen?
I do think Karen was there. Yes.
I don't know if you were with her, but yeah, I think Karen was there.
Yeah, I think Karen was there. There were only 8 of us total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I remembered. 2008.
Yeah.
Wow. Cypress would have been there. She's in the chat.
Cypress was there.
Yeah. Aw, Cypress, Nick. I don't know if Johnny was, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Nick was there, right?
Yeah.
All coming back slowly but surely.
I know. I was trying to remember it.
Brain.
And I was remembering what I remember, but I don't know if I wasn't remembering things that I couldn't remember. So I was like, I better ask you. I was our place. Yeah. Okay. Cypress Blue, queen of typos. So That was on Dean Street in Brooklyn. Yeah, it was in Crown Heights. Now, how did you first find Michael, the teachings?
I love telling this story. I think I have it written in one of my blogs too on TLE. But I was in a crystal healing class with my crystal healing teacher, who I was at that time in class supporting him in class, kind of acting as an assistant. And Karen was in this class, and I had been actually mesmerized by her the whole class and trying to be discreet about like staring at her, because I thought she was beautiful. You know, she's very Celtic. She has this fiery red hair, and she's, you know, maybe it's the king in her as well. But anyway, I was trying to be discreet about it. And during a pause in the class, she just came over to me. Nope, I'm leaving out the first part. I was connecting with a wonderful crystal, big quartz crystal from Brazil, because we were working on channeling or something. And I was holding this crystal, looking inside of it, gazing inside of it, and it looked like an angelic kingdom on the inside. And my heart opened and I started to tear up a bit. And I felt this little presence at the top of my head. It felt like somebody just lightly touched the top of my head. And because I had been doing channeling things with crystals in that class setting with that teacher, I thought to say, who's there? And I heard Michael. And I thought to myself, Archangel Michael? Because I'd heard a lot of people say they work with Archangel Michael. And I didn't hear anything else. And I just kind of dismissed it. You know, we got back into class. Well, later on in the class, Karen came over to me and said, have you ever heard of the Michael teachings?
Oh.
And I said, oh, well, that's funny that you ask, because I just had this experience with this crystal and I heard Michael at the top of my head. And she was like, yeah, you're a Michael student. She was like, you remind me of this channel I work with. His name is Troy Tolley. Just go to his website and just start reading. I bet you're in the same cadre as us and everything. I was like, okay. And I mean, the rest is literally history.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that has happened to all of us regarding Karen. Oh gosh, I know, she's mesmerizing. I love her.
Felt all special.
Oh, I love her. So then fast forward over the years, you have definitely become owned that process of channeling and working with Michael. And how has that been? How has that process been for you?
Whew, I mean, what a process. I mean, you know, I don't know if you know this currently, but, you know, I'm taking a pause from the channeling, and I decided that last summer, because life just changed so dramatically when the pandemic hit, and I started babysitting, which is not in my wheelhouse, not my life task. So it takes such a different energy for me. And then I also have been diving back into the performing arts. So I literally didn't have the focus I needed to be able to channel and do it well. And not only that, but, and this may just be my own being hard on myself, or the, you know, arrogance or what have you, but I just never felt like I was really, really getting it. A certain aspect of it, I felt like I wasn't doing as well as I wanted to. And I feel like I may have rushed the process of going from small channeling just for myself, and then a small intimate group, and then taking it to the public stage and professional stage. I feel like that part was rushed for me. So all of that is to say that it felt like I needed to just take a pause on it last summer. But the whole process, one of the scariest things I've ever attempted. It felt like flying in the dark all the time. There was never a time I felt like I was comfortable or confident. I mean, I guess confident enough to do it, you know, to keep doing it. And I'd get the feedback and little bits of validation here and there.
Yeah.
But I was shocked and elated whenever there was like huge validation of some accuracy or consistency or clarity coming through. And quite a unsettling task for Capricorn sun sign. You know, want to be excellent at everything I do and have a handle on it and be in control of it. And there was no control or having a handle on any of that, you know, so.
Well, there are a lot of Michael channels and aspiring Michael channels, and I have to say that I am very critical and not very resonant with a lot of them, and you are one who stands out to me, and that I just wanted to let you know that, because if you ever return to it or if you continue it, that's, to me, that means something to me, that you are one of the few who make me feel like I'm hearing Michael. So you were
Well, thank
doing
you.
really good work.
Thank you. I mean, I think I will return to it. I hope I do. um, because I think it's so valuable. Um, Such a valuable, profound teaching.
It
And
is.
so to be a part of sharing it in that way also is very meaningful to me.
Now, before we go into maybe some deeper topics or take questions from everybody, what's going on right now for you? Like, what are your current projects, platforms that you're working on? What
Hmm.
you're doing?
Yeah. So, well, you showed the clip from SoulTime with Babylove, and SoulTime with Babylove really started out as the main intention was to have a personal creative outlet and to also become more free in front of the camera. Since I'm starting to work more in front of the camera and I want to get into film and television, but I've had more experience on the stage than in front of the camera. Um, I very quickly learned that I'm pretty comfortable in front of the camera and pretty free in front of the camera, especially as Babylove, or your cosmic mama bear. So I realized after I did 8 of those episodes that in order to have the fuel to keep going, I need more of a circuit and I need more viewership. And I'm also still trying to 6-level old soul shenanigans, trying to figure out how to support myself in life. So I
Yeah.
I realized that I need to, when I started doing YouTube searches to see what people were actually searching for, things like spiritual awakening, connecting to the higher self, uh, consciousness evolution or something like that, that I need to start gearing my videos more toward the teaching and enlightenment part of the enlightening and entertaining. I still will probably be entertaining, obviously, because I think I'm
Of,
just an entertaining personality in general.
of
But
course.
putting the focus more on teaching and educating so that I can get more viewership, because I think that's actually going to give me more fuel to commit to it over the long haul and see what it can become. So it'll be a bit different when I do create the next series. I call it Soul Time 2.0. And there may not be another video until the summer because I'm doing a video outline and I'm really taking my time, just flowing, which is my
That's
goal.
really cool. Now you're making some
So,
TikToks though, quick little TikTok things.
yes, I've started to do TikTok. I had some friends tell me you need to maybe try TikTok, and I was like, oh God,
I
you know.
know.
I have this curmudgeon-y old man response to all of these apps and platforms and everything. And so I'm like, oh, but I started to do it, and actually, it's really fun to do it because it's not as elaborate as YouTube, and it's quick and it's easy, and I can have a little inspiration and then just do it.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying it, and it's nice that it's keeping me kind of my creative juices going and kind of my connection to my inspiration and levity. Um, so I'm really, I don't know if I'm complete with my 5th internal monad or not. I think I had a bit of collapse a few weeks ago. So I think I'm still in the 7th and final stage of this monad. And it really is a different way of being. And I feel like I'm just in a creative, nurturing, curious, exploratory place in my life that I've never been in. And it's all okay and it's all a process. So I'm not so focused or attached on the destination, but I'm very much focused on having fun right here, right now, and enjoying myself. So
Oh, that's good.
um, yeah.
Well, you're so used to being on stage because that's like an immediate circuit with the audience being there. But when you're behind the camera, even if there's an audience, it's not as easy to create that circuit. Do you like, for me, when I'm not a performer, but like when I'm streaming on Twitch or something like that, and I have like 2 viewers, I have to remind myself, like, I'm here because I want to be here. Like, it's for me, like, this is a part of what I want to bring to the world, and people can see it later or not. But do you think that that's something that'll evolve for you too? Is that or do you think that you'll have to go in the direction of having a big audience or bigger audience? I mean, like, do you think you'll be able to be behind the camera and be like, if there's one viewer, this is, I'm still going to do it.
I wonder, I really don't know. It'll be a mystery. It is a mystery to me. I don't know. I think I enjoy both aspects. They're just different, there is an element, and I don't know if you experience this too, and I don't know if it has to do with being a sage or not, but there is an element of any time I'm doing anything, I'm entertaining myself.
Right. Yes.
You saw my opening. Yeah, and I love your opening, by the way.
I mean, that just entertained me to no end, and I was
right. And so I feel like you just hope that as you're entertaining yourself, that your audience is entertained as well.
Right.
And that would be the goal, right? So we'll see. I think I need both, though. I think I need live presence, bodies, audience. It's just different. But I think I'm enjoying being in front of the camera, too, and having
you'll get your audience, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. These silent, anonymous audiences,
All right. Well, I know we're running long, but let's go ahead and start taking questions. It looks like we have one from Amanda. How do you overcome any fear related to putting your authentic self on such full view to the world?
Well, Troy and I were talking about this before we started, the live part with everybody here. He asked me if I had arrogance, and I said I do have arrogance as a chief feature, but it's my secondary chief feature, so it's more involved with intimacy, one-on-one. But I do think it has definitely shown up. Like when I was in grad school for acting, that blew my arrogance. My arrogance was crazy, I had never been so exposed, so vulnerable, so seen, and because of being on an evolutionary journey and a healing journey and starting to wake up and having teachings like the Michael teachings, it has really become, and I think it's because validating sage as well, it has become a joy. It has become healing to be authentic and share myself. So I don't experience too much fear with it anymore. Especially if someone is actually choosing to listen to me or see me, or I have that kind of platform. It is a joy, and it gives me energy, so.
Well, I feel like having arrogance and also just being exposed to the public that I almost can't function without my authentic self being front and center, because it feels like I'm going to get busted otherwise. Unless you're like totally performing, like actually performing a character, that's a whole different thing. But otherwise, not only do I not have the fuel to keep going, but I feel like I'm just going to, it's empty if it's not like authentic. So it almost feels safer for me to be as authentic as possible, because then there's this line in some song. It says, better to be hated for what you're not or better to be hated for what you are than loved for what you're not. And I love that line. So
I love that too.
Looks like I did my job, Karen.
Indeed.
What inspired you to want to get into acting, and how did you get your start into it? Any recommendations for building your acting chops?
Well, in terms of the recommendations for building your acting chops, classes, diving right in and having some expert instruction, someone who has experience and some kind of pedagogy around teaching and getting the actor in you to come forward, definitely, because there's so many people that want to act and they don't realize there really is a craft to it. And I think just about anybody can do it, and learn to do it well on some level, but classes are definitely the way to go. So you get that experience and all that stuff starts to come up that's in the way of you shining, just being a presence, with language that you're repeating and everything. But I started acting in high school, and it was really a lifesaver because my family is very dysfunctional, and I had huge issues, starting to have huge conflicts with my dad when I was a teenager. And so acting really, I felt like saved my life because it gave me community. It gave me camaraderie. It showed me that I really did have a strength and a talent, in the world. But I had always been in front of people because of church. So I had always been in front of
right.
people since I was 4 or 5 years old, giving speeches and praying and singing and all that. So, so it wasn't too much of a transfer, once I started acting on stage.
That's great. You're invited to narrate my memoir.
James
I know.
W.
Exactly.
Driver.
I know. You're in flow and what control. That's kind of the point of flow.
Yeah.
I mean, not to gain control, but the goal, having a goal of flow means you're constantly trying to flow because I mean, that's the goal. It's not the state you live in.
Yeah, I must have had some intense, previous lifetimes of control. I don't know, but I certainly wanted to control everything this lifetime too. And finally, I'm starting to get the hang of this a little bit.
Well, speaking of acting and having being an actor and having channeled, do you think there are parallels to the process of bringing out your acting chops and getting out of your own way versus in channeling as well? Or are they distinctly different?
No, I don't think they're distinctly different. I would say it probably depend on what source you were channeling, because I feel like channeling Michael. Sorry, it's my boyfriend's dog and she wants attention right now. Channeling Michael is such a different energy and an expression, comes out. I feel like it could be more similar with a different source, maybe more of an astral source that has more of a personality. Okay. It could feel closer to acting, but acting is when I feel like I'm in the zone and I'm really present. I'd say what I'm aware of is probably more of just manifesting my own essence, as opposed to channeling another source, But I'm sure there are guides, entities, consciousnesses that work with me and all actors when they're working on characters. And I'm sure that's blended in too somewhere,
I think
just
so
not
too.
aware of it.
Yeah, I think definitely. Speaking of classes, have you thought about offering spiritual Zoom classes?
Well, Moonfeather, I'm open to anything and everything at this point. And I'm just exploring because, I'm hoping that I don't end up homeless by the time I'm 60 years old. I would like to be able to take care of myself. I'm joking. I've always been taken care of. But, as you get older, you just, it's like, oh gosh,
I know.
I don't already have a foundation, a career, an expansion in my finances. It's like, where am I going to be at when I'm 65 years old? Who knows? So I'm open to all things. And I think that's a part of the SoulTime with Babylove and the TikTok and also my acting career on some level, So I just said this to myself a few days ago because I was feeling a bit discouraged about it all and disappointed for various reasons, especially the acting side of it. And I said to myself, I'm just going to do what I enjoy and keep doing it, like throwing paint at the wall. And somehow it's all going to come together. I don't know how, but it'll all come together.
That's kind of the nature of 6th level old, especially, where it's like this constant dance between chaos and harmony. It's like there's so much chaos, and then there's like these breakthroughs and these there's always this net there. Somehow there's always a net that keeps us from going all the way down.
It's true. That has certainly been my experience, even if it's just the last minute,
I know. Yes, it is. It's almost magical. I think it's one of the reasons why I'm drawn to this whole metaphysical world, is because there's something magical going on in life in general. It's not always obvious, but Babylove, thank you for doing this. This was our first Causal Coffee with Troy, and I was so honored that you accepted the invitation to be a part of this. And everybody who's watching, please go and support Babylove. Subscribe to the channel. Look for him on TikTok. All the links are in the description.
Oh, thank you so much, Troy. No, it's my pleasure, and I feel so honored. So thank you.
Oh, well, everybody, we're going to wrap up here, and we'll see you at the next Causal Coffee with Troy, which I don't know when will be, but I'll announce it. Everybody have a good day. Bye. Bye, baby love.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Be well.